absolutely perfect to start. So I
Yeah,
think we shouldn't wait anymore because we've already got our audience over here. Let's start.
let's do this. Actually, I think we would like to invite our APL legend, Mrs. Archana Bengade, and I would please invite Yash to actually run through how exactly Miss Archana Bengade will be walking through the entire thing, and please go forward and make people aware about it. Yeah.
Sure. So I'm absolutely honored, first of all, to have Miss Archana Bengarde ma'am on stage with us because she is an absolute professional in this particular field. She is currently the founder and CEO of Prospero Financial Planning and Wealth Management, and she's an expert in financial planning, consultancy, and learning and development professionals. Over 20 years of experience and all this knowledge, is going to be an absolute legend for all our master blasters and our little masters online to view and to learn from the entire experience. She has been a coach, impactful coach to many in managerial leadership. She has trained relationship managers at Kotak Bank, LIC, ICICI Lombard, and Prudential Insurance on building financial acumen, and has also featured on many TV channels like Z Namaskar, UTV, IBN Lokmat, and CNBC. She is an absolute professional and a legend in her own field, and she is here with us today. Uh, good afternoon, ma'am. It's an absolute honor to present you to this people. How are you?
Thank you, Yash, and thank you so much for that lovely introduction. And I'm really grateful to Advisor Zaruri hai and Aman Chawla, who has given me this opportunity to share my knowledge and expertise with everyone. Thank you
It's
so
an
much.
absolute bliss, ma'am, to have you over here, and you have taken the time out of your busy schedule. So we thank you, and we really appreciate that.
Thank you so much
So,
for your kind words.
ma'am, if you're all set, shall we begin our play?
Sure, definitely,
Sure.
I'm ready.
So the
Yes,
very
great.
first ball that our master blasters have thrown at us would be the why term insurance is a must for a breadwinner of the family. And ma'am, have you ever come across any situation where someone was maybe stuck and he has been benefited by term insurance?
Yes, definitely. As you said, breadwinner. What is the meaning of that? He's winning the bread, he's getting the money in the family, and the family
Absolutely
is entirely dependent on his income. So
true.
that basically tells us the necessity to insure his income, and that can come completely only through term insurance. Because I'm not saying it can't come through any other insurance plan, but term insurance is the cheapest and easiest way to insure that. Now, let's take an example. I had a case like a 38-year-old engineer, software engineer,
Okay.
and with two children and one wife. So, wife had taken a break after the second child. Basically, she was also working, and they
All
had
right.
newly bought a house on loan, and they had a lot of aspirations for both the sons basically to send abroad. And luckily, just few months back, 3 months back, he had taken 2 crore insurance, securing all his liabilities and all his future dreams. And we had helped him in the process. And unfortunately, what happened? He, while going to the work, he lost his life in an accident, and
Oh,
that time, this entire amount basically saved the family. So that is the importance of the term insurance. It basically gave the money for running of the house for future. It basically gave the money to fulfill the dreams of the children. It gave money for repaying the liabilities what the families had. And of course, the insurance will not help you emotionally, but at least it helps you financially.
I
And
see.
then emotional stability comes faster when you have financial stability in place.
Yeah, makes sense. So would you say like it's like a knight in shining armor? Works like that?
Yes, yes, definitely.
It does. All right, yes, please go.
Yeah, so ma'am, when you were answering this question, actually, there was this beautiful line which you said where financial stability makes emotional stability come faster than without it. So, ma'am, along with that, I really like the entire concept of term insurance. But for the viewers who are a little new to it, would you tell us something about what exactly is term insurance and how is it different from others? And also, there might be some disadvantages as well, right? Because as we've heard in the financial terms, risk and reward go hand in hand.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, basically, what is the meaning of insurance? The meaning of insurance is making good of the loss. Simple term. And that
Okay.
is a pure insurance. And term insurance is the most purest form. What is it like? If you have to compare it, it can be easily compared with the motor car insurance. So, like how we take the insurance
Okay.
of the motor car, if there is an accident and if there is a loss to the car, any damage happening to the car, then what happens? Insurance company जो भी कुछ नुकसान है वो दे देती है, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if at all we basically run the car smoothly, nothing happens to the car, no accident, nothing, then the insurance money doesn't come back to us. Are you getting it? Similarly in the term
Yes, ma'am.
insurance, similarly in the term insurance, when you take this insurance, say for 40 years, 45 years, that is maybe till you're 85 or 75, if nothing happens to us, no money comes back to us. That is the disadvantage. But I won't call it as a disadvantage. I would call it, it is you're paying a price for that peace of mind, because you are sure that if something happens to me, there is a buddy who will help my family. So that is a price for that.
So I mean, it would be like trusting over someone, and we know that they have our back. So it's
Exactly.
gonna
And
work like that.
everything needs to be paid a price, isn't it? So
Yes,
for
yes.
term insurance
Yeah.
also, it is. And actually, we are also doing a social service. See how when we are contributing our premium for the term, what happens? We are still alive, but there is somebody, some other family is needing that benefit, and our premium is helping them basically to make their life secure. Are you getting the point?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So this is a social
Yes, ma'am.
side to it. So more people come forward and take the term insurance. Slowly, the premiums also start coming down.
All right. That
Correct.
does put a lot of lights to it. So ma'am, this made me thinking, so suppose, let's just say I'm earning an amount, x amount of amount I'm getting on a salary basis, or be a businessman. So how much cover a person should go for? Like what exactly the something that these are the basic things that I need to have while or consider while taking a term insurance, and what would be the different steps in buying those as well?
First of all, Varun, having some income doesn't mean that I have to take an insurance. Remember,
Yeah, it
yeah.
does.
What
Yes.
are we insuring? The loss which can happen.
Which can happen.
Suppose a person is completely single and he doesn't have any liabilities, no responsibilities at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there may not be a need to take an insurance. Are you getting my point?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Because
Yeah.
he not being there doesn't lead to any financial loss to any person.
Any person. True.
But if somebody is dependent on him and there is a family, he is looking for, like, getting married and starting the family, and he has got lots of dreams. Suppose he wants to now again the same example which I gave you, a person doesn't have any responsibility, but suppose if he has a dream basically to finance say an education institute, give a crore of rupees after few years, so that is his dream. What if he cannot make it till then he can take an insurance for that noble clause also. Are you getting it? Okay, so now what was your question?
Yes,
What
ma'am,
are the
we are.
different processes and how do you find out how much insurance is needed? So there are two methods of calculating the insurance. One, you set the income. See, by income, I'm talking, it is called the human life value. So every human life has got a value, and that value depends on what talents, what skills you have. Like your talents and your skills will help you basically to generate income right now and also in future. So life insurance basically protects this income, bringing it to the present. That's called a present value of future income, and then finding out what is the human life value of this person. So as and when you add any skills, any qualification, you increase the potential. It can be credit card loan, personal loan, all loans added together. That is A part. Second part is B. B is your responsibilities towards your children. So whatever is the current value of that goal, like my child is right now maybe 5 years old, but when he goes for a higher education, I wish to send him abroad for his maybe post graduation or graduation. So calculate that value in today's term. So if you have two kids, the responsibility gets triple. So this financial responsibility added together, that is the second part of the calculation. First part is outstanding liability. Second part is your financial responsibilities towards the children. And the third part is, now not only children, I'm sorry, it can be dependent, can be your parents also. And the third part is how much corpus you require to run the family for maybe 35 years, 40 years. If you are not around, how much will be your life, expected life of your spouse, that much, those many years, and corpus required to sustain for those many years, expecting the inflation rate, expecting the interest rate what you can get. We calculate the third part, that is the corpus, future corpus to run the family. We add together, one, that is liabilities, second, responsibilities, third is the corpus. Add together whatever is the value, minus from that any existing insurance or any assets which can be taken, can be used, and what is left, that is the insurance cover required. So it is not that easy that we calculate, okay, itna income hai, so 25 times or 15 times of that value should be your insurance amount. That is a thumb rule, but you cannot generalize. See, how much is the need, that is little complicated, what you can say, calculation, and it differs from person to person. So it is not a calculator answer basically.
So
Are
in
you getting
simple
the point?
terms, ma'am, correct me if I'm wrong or if I've misunderstood it. So suppose if something were to happen to me,
Yeah,
the people who are dependent on me, they their standard of living should not suffer, right?
exactly. That is what. But that is the reason why we calculate how much corpus would be required, because we want our families to enjoy the same standard of living. Yeah. If I'm sending my kids to ICSE or IB, I don't want them to come back to maybe SSC or to another school where the fees is less, right? I don't see that. That is the reason why we need to protect that standard of living, that education, that marriage we wish to give to our kids through this term insurance.
Correct. Ma'am, I actually understood this entire part thanks to your detailed explanation about it. Along with this, I have a further question related to this. So now that you have explained to me what the term insurance is and how is it needed for us, could you explain what are the different steps to get the term insurance, or should, like, at this point of time, a lot of people are preferring online methods of getting insurance. So what are your thoughts on that? What are the steps, and would you prefer online or through an advisor?
Simple question, Yash. Suppose if a person is suffering from depression, what will he do?
Yeah, I would go to a doctor, a
Yeah, why?
psychologist,
Why
or
don't you research online and find out some medicine and take it? Same reason, because you don't want to risk your life, right? Yeah,
yeah,
you don't
correct,
want to
correct,
risk,
correct.
you don't want to suffer more, because this depression is just not one of the thing. You need to go to the root of it, find out what is the cause of it, and work on the cause, right? So what
Correct.
happens when we buy the insurance online? Of course, it is easier to make the comparison, but what are we comparing with? We are comparing only the premium, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
What if my family, like I'm there, like I can go online and do the research, is my family well versed enough with the technology? When the claim part comes, can they go online and do all that process, or they have to run from pillar to post basically to get the money, which get the money or the claim for which I have paid the premium for so many years, right? So if your
Yeah,
spouse is also, or your this other person, whoever is there, if they are good enough, another thing, assessment of the risk. How will you find out how much insurance you need? It's not a thumb rule, and it's not that necessary that you have to take an insurance. If you have enough assets, and if you are okay basically to use those assets, if you're not there, then there is no need. Yes. So like I gave an
Yes,
example
ma'am.
of an psychiatrist. We go to the psychiatrist when we are suffering from depression. We don't do online research and take the medicines. Similarly, what you need is an advisor to find out how much insurance should I take, and what are the less known facts in different insurance policies, which I may not be understand as a layman. And what is the process of getting the claim? Is it easier, or is it complicated? Sometimes some of the questions we don't understand when we are filling the form. Like say suppose a person, a male or female, anybody is asked, are you a smoker? Now that person has quit smoking maybe for 2 months, so he may say, yes, I'm not a smoker. So what happens on the basis of that? You get a quotation of the non-smoker, which is almost 60% cheaper. Yeah. Because you think that I'm not a smoker, but actually in insurance company, the fact is that only if you have not smoked for last 5 years, you can call yourself non-smoker. Otherwise you're still a smoker. How many people know this fact? And if the claim comes, and if that is found, okay, this person has answered it wrongly, the entire claim gets rejected. Are you getting
Yeah.
the point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
ma'am. I'm completely understanding this entire thing.
So there are like small questions which we may interpret it wrongly and we may answer wrongly. And then we are in a bliss that I have taken enough insurance. But when the claim comes, if it is rejected on some ground, then, actually we are basically messing up the life of my family, whoever are the survivors, because that insurance money is not coming anymore. Getting it?
Yes, ma'am. So,
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am.
if I were to change the from this question, I mean, it was a lot of insights about it, and if I were to change just the scenario, if let's just say something happened and my claim got rejected, like how do I proceed and appeal for it? Like, I mean, it wasn't my fault, or be that be any other reason. So, how do I appeal for it that my claim got rejected, or
Okay, first of all, we have to go back and check the reason for the rejection. Yeah. Again, here the role of an advisor or role of an expert comes into picture. If that has been written in the policy clause, key claim won't be allowed on these grounds, and we have overlooked it that time and signed the papers. Most of the people don't sign the papers also. They don't see the policy clauses also. Then, you know that is understood, that you have read and you have agreed for it, you have signed for it. And if you find that it is not my fault and still the claim has been rejected, then you can write to the office, like whichever company is there, you can write to them, take it to the higher authority. Still it is not uh, still if it is not settled, then you can take the higher state, that is you can go to ombudsman and ask them, write to them and present the case to them. And this is the higher authority appointed by IRDA who will basically justify your claim.
yes,
Yes.
ma'am, that does answer my question.
All
Over to
right.
Yash.
Yeah. Yeah. So, along with this, ma'am, I have a question regarding the nomination or addressee of the claim. So, if in the future I want to change the nomination to someone else, so
Yeah.
what is the process of that? Like, how can I, or can I actually change the nomination?
Yes, you can change the nomination anytime. You can change it any number of time, anytime, and the process is very simple. All the companies have their standard nomination form. You just have to fill and send the form to them.
All right.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
This, ma'am, this makes me wonder about the nomination address. Changing the nomination address made me wonder about, can I change the total amount of the cover of my term insurance plan? Like,
Uh,
can I top it up if I want to increase the cover? Let's just say some expenses might come in the picture, or let's just say be any other reason. Can I top up my insurance plan?
yes, definitely, Varun. Like take your case. Suppose you start earning after few years and you're still not married, but you're worried about your family, your parents right now, and you take some insurance, right?
Yeah.
And depending upon today's capacity and today's requirement, say you have taken, assume that you've taken 2 CR term insurance. And after you get married, what happens now? Your responsibilities gets added. So you get a chance to top up your insurance, term insurance by 50%. Okay, are you getting it?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
It is
Thank you so much.
50% or rupees 50 lakh, whichever is higher. So the
Oh,
same policy can be topped up to 50% or 50 lakhs, whichever is higher at the occasion of the marriage. And again, 25% for the first child, 25% for the second child. And all this has to happen before the age of 45.
all right. So after the 45, wouldn't be able to do that. I'm gonna have to consider
Yes, then you can take another proposal,
another.
another policy. But just remember that topping up doesn't mean your premium is depending on the age when you took the policy. Suppose right now at 28, you take the first policy and you top up, you get married maybe at the age of 34, and that time you top up the policy. Definitely your age at 34 will be considered and not 28. Are you clear?
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am. That does put up the light. Over to Yash.
Yeah.
Ma'am, along with this, I have a scenario actually,
Huh.
because I was just wondering about it. How many days would it take for the policy to take effect? For example, if I take the policy today and suppose the process and everything takes a month, and if by chance something happens to me in this month, would I get the insurance or would I not?
Okay, now, see, there is a process. Sorry, I think, yes, you had asked that question and I forgot to answer it. You asked me what is the process of taking up the insurance. So, first one was the
Yes.
assessment. Yeah. And the second one, after assessing, suppose you decide to go for an insurance policy, what will you do? You will fill up your proposal form. You will fill up the proposal form.
Yeah.
There are certain documents which are needed. There is an identification document, which can be your PAN card, it can be your Aadhaar card, passport copy or something. Then as address proof, again address proof, bank details, bank statement, your photograph, and if it is required, then your medical reports also. You submit everything to them, and once the proposal is processed means you get a message, you get a mail that policy has been allotted to you. That means the contract between you and company has started, even though you haven't received the physical copy of the policy. Are you getting me? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the physical copy will come to you
Yeah.
eventually, maybe within 8 days, 15 days, whenever it comes. That is your physical copy of the policy. But once you get a policy number, your proposal is processed, the risk is transferred from you to the company. Anything happens between this period, company is liable to make that payment. That means, assume that you have taken a monthly premium for your term insurance. Your yearly insurance premium, assume that is 12,000 rupees, and you have paid, maybe some companies take 2 months premium together, so you have paid only 2,000 rupees for your monthly premium. So now what happens? The company has to give 1 crore insurance amount to the family, but they will deduct the 10,000 rupees premium which is not collected from you, because normally the premium is yearly basis, but for the convenience of the masses it has been taken as monthly, quarterly or half yearly. But that doesn't mean on 2000 you get 1 crore. They will deduct the yearly premium, the outstanding yearly premium, and pay the remaining amount to the family. Whether you are there for a long period or a short period doesn't matter, because the risk has been started. I hope I have answered the question.
All right, ma'am. And yes, ma'am. And there is continuation of the same question. If
Yeah.
by chance something happens, how many days does it take for the claim to get settled?
So I'll tell you, in my case, I have processed a person's claim. It was a suicidal death, but it got settled within 15 days. So if all the
All right.
papers are
All right.
clear, it can come as early as possible, 7-8 days also. Insurance companies are really very, what you can say, they have IRDA. So they also have the processes to follow. So they are really swift. But if in case there is some problem, if there is an early death claim is basically the death happens within the 3 years after taking the policy, that's called early death claim. So if the death happens, comes under early death claim, then it can take some time, because there will be scrutiny, there will be people will go and find out from the neighbors, from the relatives, whether all the details which were written in the proposal forms were right or wrong. They will go through the health report. So then it will take time. Otherwise, it doesn't take the time.
All right, ma'am. Thank you
All right,
so
ma'am.
much for
Thank you so
that.
much.
Coming back to the premium side, ma'am, can I or am I able? Would I be able to pay the premium from, let's just say, from my own company or HUF?
Yeah, you can do that. So HUF, it is not a company. HUF
No,
is
no.
a family, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So from HUF you can make the payment, not an issue. From company you can make the payment. So I can give you an example. If a company takes term insurance for the key employees, it's called an employer-employee policy. So anything happens to these employees, the money goes to the families, not to the company, but as a what you can say, as a gesture of the goodwill, like they are paying the premium for the employees, even that is possible.
All right. So that does put a light on my light to the question and the answer that I was seeking. I've got this terminology with me, ma'am. What's exactly is the difference between a free look period versus the grace period? What exactly is the difference?
Okay, free look period, as the word indicates, is a free look, in the sense,
Yeah.
once you get a policy, not only life insurance policy, even the general insurance policy, you get a free look period of 15 days. So within those 15 days, it's like, you get a parcel from Amazon, and if you don't like it, you can return it, but there is a time period given. So similarly in the life insurance, if you go through the terms, and through the life insurance, basically the free look period is of 15 days. So if there is a discrepancy found, or something is not right, you feel like whatever agent has explained and it is something different, then you can completely surrender that policy, give it away, and take back your money. Of course, they will deduct some of the expenses like stamp duty, policy making charges. If the medical is done, even those expenses are deducted, and the remaining premium is paid back to you. And then grace period is, once you take a policy, there is a time, there is a date on which you have to make the payment of the policy every year. That's called the renewal premium. So again, it differs from companies to companies. Some companies gives a grace period of 30 days, some companies gives a grace period of 15 days. What does it mean? That if you don't make the payment within that grace period, your policy contract expires. That means in case of term insurance, your policy gets over. Now you cannot revive it. You cannot revive it today, but you have to do the entire process of going through the medical checkup and filling up the form. That is, maybe you have to buy a new policy, and that too at your new age. So the premiums you will have to pay higher. So that's the reason why we should make the payment within the grace period, or before the grace period starts, or before the due date. I hope it is clear
Oh,
to you.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That
Yes,
does,
ma'am.
but that
Totally.
do make me wonder
Yeah.
about what happens if I die during the grace period. Then what happens?
Okay. So within the grace period, if the person dies, then again the insurance contract is valid. The family will get the money, but now the premium is not paid. So they will deduct the amount of the premium and pay you the insurance amount.
All right. Thank you so much for that, ma'am.
Ma'am, along with these lines, I have a little question about the medical conditions which might affect the term insurance or the premium of a person, and like the diseases like cancer, which are an absolute disaster for any person at all. Would these diseases and would these medical conditions affect the term insurance?
Yes, basically, if the person is suffering from certain medical conditions like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, or say heart related disease, obesity, diabetes, cancer. So now, say, imagine insurance company call this as a substandard life. What is a standard life? The person free of all the diseases. So their premium is based on the standard life. So now all these people are coming into substandard. So for substandard life, what can happen? The company may deny to give you the policy, or the company may give you the policy charging an extra rate of premium. That all depends, and the decision is completely companies. Now if a person dies because of the cancer, he already has a policy. So while taking the policy, he was a normal person, that means a standard life without any disease, and later on he messed up, developed the cancer, and the death happens due to the cancer. So can a company deny the payment of the insurance claim? No, they cannot. They have to make the payment. Only thing, if he would have taken critical illness rider with that, he could have get an extra money for that. I hope,
Okay.
is it making sense?
Yes, ma'am. Over here,
The person, sorry, let me just finish. Cancer,
yeah, sure.
yeah, if he is suffering from the cancer and he's still alive, okay, then he can get the benefit of critical illness cover, critical illness rider. And again, suppose he passes away, then life insurance cover is also paid to the family.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Along with this, I have a question regarding the term of the term insurance. What I mean by that is there any fixed years for which the term insurance would be covered? For example, 80 years or 75 years. And what if a person does not die by then?
What if the person does not?
Die by the term insurance cover? Does it affect the entire life? Does it go through the entire life of a person, or is there a specific age to it?
Okay, now for this, certain companies are giving the term insurance till the age of 100 also. Certain companies are giving till 75, certain are giving till 85. So now, why there is a need to have the insurance till 88, 85 or 100? Now there are various views of taking the term insurance. Some people take the term insurance to protect their income. That means, like the first question you asked, like a breadwinner's income, how can we protect it? Through the term insurance. Now any person has some working life, maybe till 60, 65. The businessmen do not have a working life. They can work till, they say, like, I will die with my boots on. So here, the intentions behind this is not basically to provide the income, but maybe to create a legacy. If I die, my family will get that amount. Yes, are you getting it? But
Yes.
what if the
Yes,
person
ma'am.
survives that term also? If the person survives that term also, then nothing is paid to the nominees. Yeah, because the person is still there. The contract is for certain years. And what is the contract? If that proposer, if that policy holder dies within that period, the company will make the payment to the survivors. Now the person has basically survived. So then there is no need to pay any payment. So that becomes a disadvantage. But again, don't consider it as a disadvantage. Please understand how much peace of mind we get by ensuring our family's interest, isn't it? Now,
Yes, ma'am, that is completely right.
suppose if I'm insuring myself till 85, I'm insuring myself till 100. But I'm not very sure that while we working till 85 to 100, I can limit my premium paying term. I can pay the entire premium only for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. That means I can finish off the premiums till I'm working, and then just enjoy my rest of the life with the peace of mind that I'm still secured, I'm still insured. And if I die, what I'm leaving is the legacy to my family, or maybe legacy to an NGO. Even with that intention also it is taken.
Okay, ma'am, I would like to clarify something over here. As you mentioned that you will finish giving the premiums before the term insurance, the expected rate ends. So suppose I can work till 65. So is it possible for me to pay a premium only till 65 and then yet be assured till I'm 85 or 90?
Yes, that is what I said. You can limit the premium paying term. You can finish it.
Okay.
You're right now 35. You're insuring yourself till 85. You can just decide to pay the premium till 45. तो चलो जिंदगी का एक किस्सा खत्म हो गया. Now I can focus on my other goals. Some people do that also.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I've got this question from the audience.
Yeah.
Where the person has asked that if insured person die because of COVID-19 or act of God, will they get the claim?
Yes, they do get.
So my existing policy do covers that. So all
Yes,
right,
yes, it covers.
okay.
All
Thank
right,
you
ma'am.
so
Thank
much.
you so much, ma'am, for the answer. Now moving on to the next part, I noticed that you said you use the term called as rider. So,
Yeah.
ma'am, I would like to know what rider really is and what are the different riders associated with the term insurance.
Okay, you know what? Suppose if you go to buy an ice cream, and then while handing over that cone of ice cream, this guy asks, should I put the toppings of chocolates? Should I put the toppings of strawberry? Or would you like to have mangoes with that? What are we asking for? We are asking for add-ons, right? So in insurance policy, the plain insurance policy is a term insurance, and riders are the add-ons, covers what we take along with that. And for every rider, we have to pay the price. And since we have paid price for every rider, so we get the benefit of the pure term insurance plus of the riders if the riders activates. Now, what are the riders? Different riders which are available. So the riders are critical illness rider. Critical illness means company will give you money, entire money, not the entire policy money, but the critical illness rider money. If any of the diseases listed in that rider takes place in your policy term, assume that a person has taken 1 crore term insurance and 50 lakh critical illness rider, and he gets detected with cancer and he survives for a period of 30 days. Now, why the critical illness rider is there? To pay you income or to make you financially independent if you lose the capacity to earn income. Now, when a person is getting cancer, say third stage cancer, second stage cancer, normally he has to take off from he has to take the break from his job or his work. And there is no income coming in, but there are expenses which are increased. So in that case, this rider that gives you the lump sum amount 50 lakhs rupees to support you in that period. Now your medical insurance will take care of your hospital bills, but this will give you a lump sum, a corpus which you can invest and survive on that money. And if that person struggling with that critical illness dies after 5 years, then again your 1 crore rupees term insurance will make the payment to the family. I hope this is clear.
Yes, it does, ma'am. It
Yes.
does.
So the second rider is of, say, it is of the accident cover. It is called double accident benefit, or it is disability cover. So what is a disability? Disability is one in which, suppose if that there is an accident, there can be permanent disability, there can be temporary disability. Temporary disability, no payment, but permanent disability, you lose most important limb of most important organ of your body, and because of which you can't be employed, or you can't be, you are incapacitated, your income capacity, earning capacity comes down, then you need a support. And if you have already taken a disability rider, then the company pays you, you know how much, 1% of your policy amount on month basis for 10 years. So that is a disability rider. But remember that there are exclusions also. If this accident has happened due to drink and drive, then nothing is paid. Even, you know, accident happens due to drink and drive, the normal benefit will be, suppose if the person dies in an accident. Now, according to the double accident benefit, what has to happen? The family has to get double the money. That means 1 crore का policy है, तो family को 2 crore मिलना चाहिए. लेकिन accident हुआ है, लेकिन the person was drinking and driving, so he is responsible. It is not somebody else as basically, what you can say, uh, it is not at the fault of somebody else, but it is his own fault, and he has lost his life. The company will pay only 1 crore, not 2 crores. But if the person has met with an accident because somebody else was driving under the influence of alcohol, it is not his fault. Then the policy will pay 2 crore to this person. I hope this is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
There is third benefit rider which can be opted, which is called the Premier Waiver benefit. This Premier Waiver benefit is basically not in particularly this. I'm just talking about in general the rider. That means if the person dies, then the other premiums, the next premiums are paid by the company, and the family doesn't have to pay the premium, but the policy clauses or the policy benefits are still intact till the term gets over. Yes, Varun?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, just to add to this question, is it beneficial to offer it through term insurance policy, or should I go for a separate policy for it?
So there is basically different school of thoughts for that. Some people say that you should go for separate policy. Some say like you should offer the riders with term insurance. Now there are two views to it. You know what? Critical illness normally comes in the life after 60. Yeah. And if you have taken your term insurance till the age of 60, then what happens? With 60, your both the benefits expires. Yeah. Your term insurance also goes off and the critical illness also goes off. And then now you go to medical, any general insurance, health insurance company to take a critical illness policy. At the age of 60, you will have to pay a huge premium, isn't it? Because you're 60. But the benefit is here, if you combine it with the term insurance, the premiums are really very low. Yeah. And the premiums are same. Remember that. Your premium doesn't increase here as you age, like medical insurance. Every 5 years, if you change the slab, your premium increases. Whereas if you take the riders along with the term insurance, and if you have taken your term insurance for a really long period, then it is benefited to take the riders along with the term insurance policy instead of buying them separately. I hope I'm making sense.
Yes, ma'am.
Also personal accident insurance and all that also you can take it here. The premiums are really very very cheap. You can imagine that for 1 crore of insurance policy, 1 crore of accidental cover, accidental rider, you just pay 3,000 rupees extra every year. Whereas if you want to buy it separately, it might cost you 10,000 or 12,000 a year.
All right. That does put on light for me, ma'am. I have got this question from one of our audience from the YouTube. So he's seeking the answer for, can NRI have a term insurance if he still holds passport of India?
Yes, you can have term insurance. You can actually buy a term insurance from any company and it is valid any part of the world. Only thing, they have different formalities, different documentations to be done, but any NRI can take an insurance policy from any Indian company. What if a person takes an insurance and then he becomes an NRI? Still policy is valid, Varun. I hope this is also connected, isn't it? Like
yes,
after 2 years, you move out, to Canada or to US. What happens to your policy? You may continue with India, and if the claim comes, Indian company will pay it. Not an issue.
So, ma'am, let's just say in an accident, both the person dies, the nominee and the person, who had the policy. Then what happens for the settlement? Like who exactly?
Wow, a very good question here. So now see, the nominee is no more. And sometimes I forgot to mention, normally when people are young, not married, what do? They appoint their parents as a nominee. And they forget basically to renew or to look into the nomination part, and continues like that. And if the person dies and the nominee is say mother, and mother has passed away 5 years back, right? So in that case, the legal heir of that person will get the money. If there are 2, 3, then it will be equally divided among them.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering that question. The next question would be about something that we all are worried about, which is taxes. So is the insurance money and the premium, can it be deducted through taxes, or is there another process which works here?
Now there are two parts to it, Varun. There is a insurance money, means the money received on the claim. You mean to say that?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? Na? So you mean to say like whether this amount is taxable or not taxable, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And
Suppose
is
if
the
the
premium that I'm paying also taxable?
Okay, so now when you receive the amount on death of the person, that is definitely not taxable because it is covered under section 1010D. Any amount receivable on the death claim is not taxable. The premium which we pay is you get a tax benefit under section 80C, like where we the normal other insurance premium what we pay, school tuition fees, then housing loan principal. That section 80C section covers even the premium for any insurance policy, not only the term insurance policy, not Mediclaim, but insurance, life insurance policy. I hope this is clear.
Yes, ma'am, it is. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Ma'am, coming back to that claim and the settlement issue, what happens if someone get murdered by a blood relative, or what happens to this that scenario? Does that thing cover in our policy terms and conditions?
Wow, a good question. There was a case few years back. The person was actually financially, he was really in a mess. Yeah, lot of loans, lot of liabilities, but his past income tax returns were good. So he had decided, ki, like, I will take an insurance policy. And he was fitting into all eligibility criteria, and he had taken a policy. And he knew that, if there is a suicide within 1 year, it is not at all paid. Okay, but after a year, if a person commits a suicide, then the insurance claim is payable. So what it does, insurance claim करना है तो suicide करने से फायदा नहीं है. So he basically, the blood relative murdered him to get the money. Yeah, that is actually murder is payable, by the way. Murder is payable, the amount received on the murder is payable, but uh, if the person belongs to, suppose, what you can say, पहले से ही गैंग वॉर में है तो उसको तो पॉलिसी मिली है कैसे भी, बट इट इज प्रूवन दैट he is into illegal things and all, then the murder is not payable. So now here the question is that if a murder is done by the blood relative, can the family claim the amount? Yes, if it is proven that there was no motive of basically getting the money. uh, but if it is proven कि लाइक ये मर्डर वो पर्सन ने ही करवाया था कि इंश्योरेंस का पैसा आ जाए, क्योंकि सुसाइड का पैसा मिलना नहीं था, मिलेगा नहीं इसके लिए, then the claim can get rejected.
All right. I mean, this whole scenario sounds like a Savdhan India episode.
Actually, I think वो स्टोरी भी आई थी क्या, सावधान इंडिया नहीं, क्या है वो,
Crime Patrol.
Crime Patrol.
Yeah.
एक स्टोरी थी इसके ऊपर. But if it is found out कि that person has only crafted the whole thing, then the claim gets rejected.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Along the same lines, what are some of the other reasons that a claim can be rejected, and any peculiar instances that you have been through in your entire career where there was a moral dilemma ki what should be the right thing to do?
The claim can be rejected. Yeah, there was a claim, in my case, rejection of the claim in my case. One of my client had basically, like he didn't declare that he is an alcoholic person. So when I had asked, we have a questionnaire, we ask it, and we ask every question and find out, and we ask and write the answers, right? So he basically, he didn't disclose that he is drinking alcohol. A little amount is okay, but alcoholic means what, every day you drink a lot of it. And he had hidden that fact, and there was an early claim within 3 years, and that time the claim got rejected because you haven't disclosed the facts. So claim मिलना है तो very important that आपको जो भी कुछ facts है जो भी कुछ illnesses है वो सब आपको you have to disclose them. There is another thing, you know, ये form में एक पूछा जाता है कि were you absent from your employment in the last 5 years because of the health reason. ठीक है, तो नॉर्मल लाइफ में लोग क्या करते हैं कि छुट्टी लेके गांव जाना है, छुट्टी नहीं मिल रही है, तो क्या करते हैं, दे टेक अ व्हाट बेसिकली
मेडिकल लीव right?
मेडिकल लीव एंड मेडिकल सर्टिफिकेट किसी से लेके दे देते हैं कंपनी में,
अच्छा
है ना. तो मेडिकल ग्राउंड पे छुट्टी लिया है 15 दिन 20 दिन, नाउ दैट इज देयर ऑन द कंपनीज रिकॉर्ड, एंड इफ this person has written in the form that he has no health issues, actually he has no health issues, लेकिन उसने वो जो गड़बड़ की है अपने कंपनी के रिकॉर्ड में, अगर क्लेम आ जाता है, see all these claims are getting into the scrutiny normally if the claim comes before 3 years. तो अगर ये क्लेम आ गया 3 साल के पहले और स्क्रूटिनी हो गई एंड दे फाइंड आउट कि लास्ट ईयर ये बंदे ने 15 दिन की छुट्टी ली थी हेल्थ ग्राउंड पे, लेकिन फॉर्म में तो लिखा है कि आई एम कंप्लीटली हेल्दी, नॉट सफरिंग फ्रॉम एनी डिजीज, ऑन दिस बेसिस आल्सो द क्लेम कैन गेट रिजेक्टेड.
All right.
okay
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Just to add on to this, so I mean, we have seen it on the news as well, and it's like a hot topic that we have seen that there is so much thousands of crores of unsettled claim, right?
Yeah.
So, ma'am, and there is a confusion between a nominee and a beneficiary as well.
Yeah.
So, could you please walk us through it? Like, what exactly is the difference? What happens? Like, who gets the money? And what exactly is the process? If I were to say, if I were to die, what's the next step?
What is the next step for what?
The nominee, like what exactly he or she is gonna have to do to get the money, and what exactly is the difference between a nominee and a beneficiary? These two, yeah.
Okay. So now for, there is a misunderstanding between the people that nominee किया तो उसको पैसा मिलेगा, right? But nominee is a person who has a right to receive the money but not to use it. तो nominee के पास पैसा आया, but the other legal heirs can claim it because nomination doesn't mean कि इसको ही खाली पैसा मिलना है. If the legal heir doesn't claim it, then money can stay with him. But actually, legally, the money has to be distributed among the legal heir. Are you getting it? But any insurance company will not ask that nominee कि like बाकी लोगों का no objection certificate लेके आओ. नहीं, they will just give the money to the nominee. Now, to ensure that even the other people get the money after your death, what you can do? There are two ways. While nominating, you can have more than one nominee also. So if you have, say, wife and 2 kids, then you can write equally to all, 3 nominees there. That is one way. Second way is that you can have definitely a will and mention about this policy in your will. And in the will, you can mention, suppose a person has 1 wife and 2 kids, and he wants to give the proceeds only to his wife. The children should not claim it. So he can make her as a nominee. And also in the will, he can mention the proceeds of this policy should go only to my wife. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah.
If you want to ensure only to the nominee the money has to go, then you have to have a will also in the place. Now beneficiaries are those, जैसे मैंने explain किया, एक बंदे का नाम है लेकिन उसको पैसा beneficiaries को मतलब legal heirs को देना है. Now there is also one term which is associated with the with this nomination part, which is called assignment. What is an assignment? Assignment is transferring the legal rights of the policy to a company or to somebody. Suppose if you have taken a loan, from a financial institute and you have placed your insurance policy to them. That means you have assigned a policy, you have given the rights of receiving the money to this company in case of the death of the person. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am. So correct me if I'm wrong. The nominee, whoever is the nominee, is not allowed to use the money, or let's just say spend the money, and it's bound to go to the legal heir unless otherwise is mentioned over a will, right?
Yeah, correct. But it is not a duty of the insurance company to check the legal heirs. They will give the money to the nominee. Okay. The legal heirs can claim it, and if they decide, okay, we don't want, that is also fine. They can So basically, only if legal heirs claim it, then the nominee needs to give. Otherwise, it is not binding on
Uh,
him, but it is
okay.
actually everyone's money. He is just the trustee of receiving. I hope it's clear to you.
Yes, ma'am. It's clear. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. So moving along the same lines, I have heard this term called as an MWP. Could you please explain a little about what it is?
Yes. So MWP, the full form is Married Women's Property Act. Okay. But it is applicable even to male and female. So if they are married, they can go for it. So Married Women's Property Act, basically, it is an extension of the confirmation of the person to whom the money has to be paid. Like if I have attached along with my insurance policy a separate document called MWP, and whoever's name is written on that, in in the case of the death, that person will only get the money. Now, why is it important to have it? A lot of businessmen, as they go ahead in their businesses to expand the businesses, they go to the bank and take bigger and bigger loans, right? And if at all, if at all they are not here, and because of the unfortunate death, and the liabilities are standing there in the books, so the creditors can claim the insurance money. They have the right in this amount, because if you are a proprietor, then definitely your business and you are the same person, right? So they can claim this money. But if you want to ensure that this money is only for the family, then you should go for MWP. Now a married man can basically have his wife and children's name written in the MWP clause, or if it's a married woman like me, I can have my husband and my daughter's name and in the MWP clause. I hope this is clear. Yeah. So
Yes, ma'am.
so here what I'm doing, I'm protecting my family's interest in the claim amount, and I'm keeping it free from the attachment by the creditors, sorry.
All right, ma'am. So I've got this final question for the day from
Yeah.
the YouTube, and the person is seeking the answer for what if someone from India
Huh.
dies in an accident in foreign?
Yeah. So
What happens in that scenario? Like how would that be applicable, right?
yes, definitely, because we have taken what is the contract. If the person dies due to, again, remember the exclusion. If
Yeah.
it is, he should not be under the influence of alcohol, that those are the conditions, then it is definitely taken that accidental benefit. If he has taken in the policy, even that is payable. So it is actually the worldwide cover. It doesn't matter that Indian company से insurance लिया तो Indian का India में ही death होना चाहिए, ऐसे कुछ नहीं है. It has to be proven accident हुआ, क्यों हुआ, and it was a clean accident, then definitely the money is payable. You can be anywhere. Like if an Indian resident also is traveling abroad and he dies there in an accident, of course the insurance company has to make the payment.
Yes, yes, it does. So I've got a couple of more questions from the chat box. People are just flooding it with questions.
Okay.
So I've got another one, ma'am. Am I allowed to change the nominee in between?
Yes, definitely, any number of time.
Any number of time. There is no hesitation or
There are
there's
no
no.
charges for it.
Oh,
You just have to fill up the form. Some companies are allowing it to do online also. There are online forms. You take a print, sign it, send it, or on email also. Some companies insist on physical papers. So do whatever way, but it is completely free. Any number of times you can do that.
all right. And ma'am, this just curious about this. Am I allowed to change the policy in between? So let's just say the premium hasn't been completed, and there's another premium. There's another policy which is looking more compelling to me. Is there any chance that I can switch it, or I'm gonna have to go ahead with that one, and I can only buy the next one? I'm not allowed to switch it. Is there any process like that?
No, not till now. There is no process, like sometimes it happens, people in their younger age, they start with a small amount of the premium, 1,000 rupees, which looks, peanuts when they start earning 50 lakhs as a salary. So they ask you, like, can I switch this? No, not possible. You have to stay with that and buy
Okay.
another one.
And ma'am,
Okay, ma'am.
so I've got this question. So let's just say I've got this policy running in between, and I, in the middle of the policy, permanently shift to abroad.
Okay.
It's still applicable? I mean, by the time the maturity period, it's
Yes, you can. You can. Basically, you just have to inform the insurance company that now my status have changed from Indian resident to non-resident of India. You have to inform them and fulfill certain documentation part, and it has to come on their record that you have changed the status.
all right. So Yash,
Yeah.
I heard a special guest is coming over. How long are you planning
Yes.
to make our audience wait, huh?
I'm planning to invite her right now. We have our special guest over here. Could you please invite her, Varun, and
Yeah,
tell
so
our audience about her?
sure. So we, the company board of advisor Premier League, would like to invite Sanika Bengade. Ma'am, could you please come over?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, could you hear us?
Yes, yes, I can
Yes,
hear you.
ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. I would just like to make our audience aware. So, ma'am is a chartered accountant by profession, and is I've also done with our chartered wealth management, right, ma'am?
Yes, correct.
So, ma'am, I've got this question. Pretty, how exactly? We have heard that you are actually assisting ma'am, and
Correct.
so how exactly is your journey? When did you decide that okay, I would go ahead and assist my mom, and going into the personal finance section, as we have seen that most of the chartered accountants don't usually prefer to go in the
Right,
personal finance section.
right. So, I finished my chartered accountancy in the year 2017, and after that, I was working with ICICI Bank for like almost 1.5 years. After which I decided to, join like my mom's business because it's something that she has built over, say, 27, 30 years. So, I thought I'll take that over. And after I joined, I find the journey to be very fulfilling because, like you're actually helping people get their lives on track. So that satisfaction is more like it feels better than just the monetary gains or the other financial aspect of it. So it's been a great journey, and it's nice meeting people and hearing their stories, and like helping them to basically get their lives on the right path and guiding them through that journey. So it's been great.
Thank you so much, Sanika ma'am, and our guest over here who has explained everything in a very simple format for everyone to answer. And I'm absolutely honored to be hosting both of you on this stage. Ma'am, concluding it before the drinks break, which is, do you have any advice or any last words for our audience over here? And also, Sanika ma'am.
Um,
Sorry, I'm sorry. Yes, definitely. Just remember, like before getting into the swimming, like we put our jackets on. What is it called? Lifeguard on, right? Similarly, this is our lifeguard term insurance. This is the strong foundation of your financial building. So do not overlook it. Don't think that paying the premium is a waste. Actually, it gives you a lot of peace of the mind and it gives you the foundation to make that building. So please insure yourself, protect yourself with enough term insurance, and always keep reviewing your insurance need. It doesn't happen like ek baar liya to ho gaya. Every time your role changes in the family, you have to review your policies and keep them updated with your nomination, address change, your status change, everything. And now you're asking about Sanika. Sanika has been a great helping hand to me. And I wanted somebody basically to take care of my clients if I'm not here. So this is my succession plan. So like how we tell our clients basically to make their will and to so that they can pass on their wealth and foundation wealth and whatever they have created to the next generation. So I have done this basically not only to pass on the wealth, but basically I want my clients to get the same kind of the service and same kind of the ethics and moral in place. So that is the reason, like, I have introduced my daughter.
Ma'am, sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt, but how does it feel, to have your daughter carry forward your legacy and assisting you in so many cases, and now taking forward your legacy? How does exactly that feels?
So as I said, term insurance gives you peace of mind. Having my successor gives me peace of mind. And seriously, I'm getting such a free time to do a deep work, basically, and taking this business ahead. It is such a blessing to have her with me.
Great, ma'am. I believe that it would be an amazing business in the future as well for you. And it is a good thing that, as you mentioned, it is a kind of social service that we are doing, which offers a peace of mind to a lot many families in India and abroad. So, ma'am, I would like to conclude this entire session by offering our utmost gratitude to
And
you
also,
for,
Yash, it's a great
yeah,
duo, huh? The great duo
yeah,
of a team, a
absolutely.
strong duo.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you so
Archana
much.
ma'am.
Thank you so
Archana ma'am
much.
and Sanika ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, I would like to offer my gratitude from the entire Advisors Zaruri Hai community and our Master Blasters who have been listening to you and all the audience that we have on YouTube. Like, thank you so much, ma'am. And we would proceed with a drinks break after this.
Thank you so much, Varun.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure
Yeah,
of hearing.
seriously. Thank you.
It was just a bliss to have both of you on board and sharing out your insights with the audience. And we really appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule and sharing your insights with us and the
To-
audience.
Totally, ma'am. It was like I learned an entire chapter of life today because it is as important as that. That is
Yes.
why we call
And
it our lifeguard.
your questions were very pointed and relevant, I must say, and they actually covered everything related to life insurance.
Thank
And
you so
it
much,
was a
ma'am.
very interactive session, so it wasn't like boring at any point. So it was
Yes,
a
thank
good
you so